Hi, and welcome to CAM Resource Podcast, Episode 4, Common Computer and IT Questions. Hi, and welcome to CAM Resource Podcast. Today we have Louis here. He is my IT specialist. He's going to tell us a little bit about himself, and then we're going to ask him tons of questions. Oh, well, maybe just a few. We won't keep him too long. Louis, can you introduce yourself?
Sure, Diana. First, I just want to say thank you for having me on this podcast.
Oh, you're welcome, and we're grateful to have you.
So the name of my company is Intellitechs. We service the entire Bay Area. We've been here since 2006, and we service residential and commercial customers alike. We do installs, upgrades, and repairs, and most things related to the computer. So that would include networking, security, backups, antivirus, managed services, and the like.
And sometimes do you also work with telephone systems?
Yes, we have a voice over IP partner that we've been working with for quite some time. VoIPs. They actually were a competitor at one time, and they offer month-to-month VoIP service, so you're never stuck in a contract with them.
Oh, okay, great. Well, thanks again, Louis, for being here, and I'm just going to start off asking you some questions, if that's okay.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. One thing I think we should start with, and I think it's important, especially since community associations have to do a real budget and has to be voted on. Can we talk a little bit what to budget for our computers? I know that I'm having to replace a computer every 3 years, which I think it's going to last forever, and I have a time lapse every single time. Oh, I just bought this computer, and then it's 3 or 5 years ago. So what's your thought on that?
Sure. When it comes to businesses, there's one thing that seems to be missing in most budgets, and that's computer replacements or technology upgrades. What you can plan on is typically 3 to 5 years on a computer or a laptop. Technology just moves that fast today. And you're obviously using it, and the equipment wears and tears. So you should plan on a budget 3 to 5 years to replace that equipment.
And I'm noticing that the software is costing almost, if not more, than the hardware itself. And I've noticed that now I'm doing a lot of monthly or yearly subscriptions rather than going out and buying a disc. Is that the way the trend's going now?
That is the trend, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. What you'll probably notice is rather than a large capital expenditure, you're paying a little bit per month for that license. For us, that actually is a benefit because it keeps you, the end user, current. In the past, when you bought Office or QuickBooks or some other type of software, people make that investment and then they forget about it, and then all of a sudden you're 3 or 4 years behind, and it becomes difficult to upgrade that software or keep up with the system upgrades, things like that.
Also, I noticed a lot of us have gates to our communities, and I noticed that software is increasing tremendously too. So that's another item you should keep in mind when doing your budget, is the software for all of your extra stuff that you have. Louis, what about virus protection?
Okay, first thing I would say is there is no such thing as 100% protection, but you must be vigilant. And different products kind of leapfrog each other year after year. We currently recommend WebRoot for antivirus, and we couple that with Malwarebytes for anti-malware. Those things work in unison with each other and will keep you relatively safe. But again, you've got to make sure that the virus definition updates are happening and don't fall behind.
Okay, so once we put it on, we need to usually it tells us, right? But we should go in and check.
Correct.
Anyway, okay, good. I haven't been doing that. I need to do that. So I will start doing that. Now, what about backing up all of our information? How do we go about that?
Okay, what we recommend are 2 backups, one local and one remote. Local backup for fast recovery. You've got your either disk image or files there beside you on a hard drive should your computer fail. Remote backup in the event of a catastrophic fire, flood, whatnot. You can recover your system and it's offsite.
And it's offsite, so you have the best of both worlds.
Correct.
Okay. What's the average cost for backing up? How does that work?
Local backups are fixed. You basically buy a hard drive that can support the size drive you have inside your computer. Offsite backups are a different story. I've got a backup partner that we've been working with, Dr. Backup, for the last 10 years. And what they do is they come in and do an initial footprint and then do continuous backups daily. But they offer a 30-day trial, and they compress the data. And once that 30 days is up, they can give you a quote telling you what your monthly cost is going to be based on that data.
So when you say come in, you mean remotely, probably from the computer, or?
Correct.
So that means that they'll work nationally within the United States?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I know a lot of our listeners might not be located in Florida, which is where we are currently. So, all right, now the local backup, would that manually be done, or is that an automation? How does that work?
It would also be automated.
It would be automated
Correct.
too? Oh, okay.
And you can set that up to notify you if it fails. So, yes, you want to check on it periodically. And one thing that people think is if you're backing up garbage, when you restore, you're going to end up with garbage. So you need to periodically restore files every once in a while just to make sure that your backup is doing what it should.
Okay, and what about working in a cloud? I know I work on multiple properties at one time, and I need that cloud to kind of, work quickly in a remote place. What's your thoughts on that?
Sure. The cloud is a very broad definition, but basically anything that is not on-premise is in the cloud. Software as a services cloud like Gmail. Most of us don't have, in today's world, an email server on site. We're using some sort of Microsoft-hosted Exchange or POP email. But then there's cloud storage, and that would be Dropbox, OneDrive, things like that. So, again, this would be set up based on your needs, the amount of data you have, the type of data you have.
Yeah, one experience that I had, I'm not for sure if it's still working, but I think it was with Google Drive. I noticed that a lot of our computers, a lot of the employees were checking the emails at home, just because I know we shouldn't be working at home, but the reality is sometimes you do check it. I noticed that it gathered a lot of our information and put it on to Google Drive, and that kind of was a little leery. I was a little leery of that because I noticed that it did it to be good so that all the computers would know the same information, but you have to watch out for that, I think.
Yeah. Again, you'd have to look to your IT professional to come in and set things up properly and advise them on what you want and don't want shared, and then they would set that up for you.
So to summarize, some of the high points of the conversation is start with budgeting. Make sure you budget, talk to your IT person, find out, really what the year is going to look like computer-wise. Also, make sure you have antivirus and malware. Anti-malware, okay, on your computers. That's very important. Even though they can't promise it'll do 100%, at least you're getting most of it out there. And if your IT person is working with you, they'll probably keep you updated if they find better software available. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And make sure you do backups. Make sure you back up locally and remotely in case there's a reason that you'd need both of those. And if you go paperless, there's several different ways out there. Make sure you check to see what your software is going to link to. And we thank you very much, Liz, for coming out. Hope you come back with us.
I absolutely will, and thank you again, Dieta.
All right, thank you.
This concludes episode 4. We hope you found it helpful and informative. As always, you can join us at camresource.info for more episodes, or go to our YouTube channel, Cam Resource. See you there.
Join us next time where we'll be talking about new technology for irrigation and water sources.